Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we're going over more Legacy of Destruction reveals. In fact, almost the final Legacy of Destruction reveals. Unfortunately, there's one card yet to be revealed. If you actually look at the breakdown on Yu-Gi-Oh! Yugipedia, the list that's been revealed so far, we literally, with the cards that are revealed tonight, the filler cards at the end of the set, there's literally one slot open. I'm assuming this is an Exceed monster from where it's placed in the set. But this one has not yet been revealed. If it gets revealed before the end of this video, we'll hit it up. If not, we'll have to hit it by the time it actually does get revealed. But yeah, we'll see. Let's get into it with the ones we do know. We still have 5 cards here. I think 2 spells, 3 main deck monsters. The first spell here to start with here is One by One We Walk. Frosty Forest Frolicking, Treading in the Tracks. I guess this is literally a haiku, which is very funny because there's no way that name will fit on the text. But regardless, we've got a quick play spell we got to get into. This card reads, if a card or cards other than this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish up to 5 cards from your graveyard face down. Then, if you have 7 or more face down banished cards, your opponent banishes as many cards from their graveyard as possible face down. That's a maximum of 5. This card's not great. Card's not great. To make this have any real value whatsoever, you have to already have 2 cards banished face down. You have to trigger it. It can't just fire whenever. It has to trigger by any card being sent to grave, which is super easy, but like sometimes the timing could be awkward for you. You have to have at least 5 cards in your graveyard already that you're okay with banishing, and all it does is give your opponent the chance to choose 5 cards basically to banish from their graveyard. So I don't know. This card is super gimmicky. I don't really see much competitive use for it, but the name is funny. We'll give it that at least. Next up here we have a new plant monster. Oh, sorry, Fire Pyro, not a plant. This is Freezing Fire. Interesting name. This is a level 3 Fire Pyro effect monster, searchable off Bonfire. If either player gains life points, you can special this card from your hand. Okay. And second effect, once per turn, if either player gains life points, you can have either player gain 1,000 life points. Again, not too reliable, I guess. I mean, maybe in an archetype that just gains you life points super consistently, every card in the deck kind of just says gain life points, then do something, then maybe this card becomes a little more interesting as an extender, plus Bonfire being able to grab it is funny, but there's really not much to this card other than that, so not too impressed. Again, not too much competitive viability there. Moving on, we have a new field spell card, generic one, called Where There's a Will, There's a Way Out. Very cool. Cool sports card, UA vibes here all the way there. You can only use the first effect of this card once per turn. The first effect reads, during the main phase, the turn player can excavate cards from the top of their deck up to the number of cards their opponent controls. And if they do, add one of them to their hand, then place the rest and 1 card from their hand on the bottom of the deck in any order. So it's not a +1. You kind of get to like prosperity, but you prosperity and then you have to put 1 back from your hand. Interesting. Plus it's like has like that chicken game vibe where both players apparently can use this, right? The turn player can use this card every single turn. So it definitely has some backfire if your opponent actually makes really good use of it. Interesting. Second effect, once per turn during the end phase, if the turn player excavated 9 or more cards with this card's effect this turn, they can activate this effect, shuffle all cards on their opponent's field and graveyard into the deck. Obviously a very powerful payoff, but this is just never resolving. If there's any way where your opponent actually has, 9 cards on field, one of 2 things is most likely happening. The first one is you're dead. They killed you. If they had 9 cards on field, that assumes that they just have like a full monster board and they probably just went in battle phase and killed you. The second thing is, if they have that many cards on field and they didn't kill you, they definitely have some sort of negate or removal for this card, so that way you're never actually getting to end phase and resolving this. I'm sure there are some cheeky strategies. Like with Ojama Trio and stuff, being able to like summon tokens to your opponent's field and like force them to have like a full field and kind of get them closer to 9. But either way, it still happens in end phase, so it's not nearly reliable enough. But another cheeky card, another fun card, nothing crazy there. Then we get to, in my opinion, the two cards that are actually interesting here. Gave them a quick read earlier. The first one here is Dinovader Docus. I like his design, actually. Just kind of just like a dino, but he has 2 heads, one on each side, which is cool. This is an Earth Dinosaur, effect monster. It's level 6, 1500 attack, 2200 defense. You can only special summon him once per turn. You can only use the second effect of this guy once per turn. First effect, if you control 2 or more dino monsters, you can special this card from your hand. Okay. This is not the worst summon condition, but it certainly hurts. Being able to, if this card could have worked off of just having 1 monster on field, this card actually would have been significantly better in my opinion. But the second effect is still pretty good. You contribute 1 level 4 or lower monster, it doesn't even have to be a dino, to special summon 1 dinosaur from your deck that is 2 levels higher or lower than the attributed monster, but destroy it during the end phase. So that's really cool. In my estimation, in most scenarios, you're searching this off of Oviraptor or something like that. Hopefully you'd have another dino on the field or have the ability to put another dino on the field so that this comes down, and then if you tribute Oviraptor, you can either summon a 6 or a 2 from deck. The 2s would probably be the babies in the archetype. The 6, I don't know off the top of my head if there are any particularly good level 6 dinos. I know there's some 7s, even some 5s, or a 5 that I think is good. Interesting. This card is definitely an interesting engine card. I don't know if he's good enough as an extender to like try and play him at higher copies. But I do think there's a world where this card comes up as like a combo piece. Like there's just particularly a combo gets better because you're able to get the monster on field, you're able to search this guy via the engine, and then he plops down, tribute something to get access to something that maybe you otherwise weren't going to be as easily able to get access to, and then you actually end on like a better board. I don't know. Interesting card. It's not nothing, but I think maybe this first effect doing what it does maybe hinders it enough. But we'll see. And the last card here that we have for today for the main deck monsters is Kos the Circular Fairy. I love his design, just a little mushroom man going through the forest. I believe this guy is actually pretty good too. So this is a level 4 wind plant tuner, 1000 attack, 1800 defense, decent booty. 2 hard ones per turn effects. The first effect reads, if this card is normal or special summoned, discard a card as cost to add an insect or plant tuner from your deck to your hand. Just a generic Stratos. Now, I say generic, but you are a little bit pigeonholed here, but this still does have some targets, I think, so that's definitely interesting, and he's a tuner himself. Second effect, if an insect and or plant synchro monster is special summoned while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. That's also kind of cool. Even if you don't do both effects in the same turn, if you save this effect for later, then you're able to like reborn him on a later turn to then do the first effect again. Like pitch a card to search another insect or plant tuner, which is pretty cool, honestly. So at the end of the day, I don't know like truly how good this card is because I'd have to look at the pool of insect and plant tuners and see if like they're actually good enough. But this is not a nothing card. This is one of those cards where I'm like, in a vacuum, this card is actually just like a decent card. We just need to see if there are any good, legitimately good search targets built around it right now. But very interesting card for sure, especially these last two. So this being like a plant or insect like synchro facilitator, and this guy being a cool dinosaur facilitator. Rounding out the set. Let's check one more time just to see if the Exceed dropped. It did not. I will keep you updated on that. But as far as these, like definitely the two little like interesting cards. The other one's definitely filler. But to be fair, I think there were maybe like 4 cards total of like actual straight up filler in this set. And that's kind of cool that like every other card you at least were like is either an archetype getting support that somebody somewhere is gonna like, or like actually being like decent cards, and that's pretty cool that like most of the set covers that. Now I don't know if the set has like its the high super ceiling type cards in it, but we'll talk about that on a later date. Now that we have everything here, I'll probably have a video coming soon talking about the set as a whole and how good I think it is overall with everything we've seen. But we'll talk about that later. I'm out here for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, let me know your thoughts down below here on any of these cards. If any of these first three have any potential whatsoever, let me know your thoughts down below. But also, let me know your thoughts on these guys too, specifically, because if you're a Dino player or if you have an idea of where this guy could find a home, I would definitely be curious to see if you think they have any legs anywhere right now. But I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel for more stuff from me down the line, and I'll keep you updated on all things Yu-Gi-Oh! News. Thanks for watching. Peace.